all that stuff, where you have a different time scale. So Siram, please continue, Siram. Hello,
Yes,
Siram. Yeah, please continue.
yes. I read the document file which you shared yesterday. I think the document file is I'm not able to get properly what the actual requirement and what need to done according to the previous plugin, group budget plugin. So so can you tell me and explain me what actually need to change in the new plugin uh, as a comparison of the group budget plugin.
Okay. So basically, CRM, we can completely copy our last project for more of the functionalities described inside the document, because let me say, some words inside that document I understand that could be misleading for you, because the labels, the words inside that document are different compared with user roles or something else inside our last project. But believe me, the flow of the project is very similar, because when you read inside that document the 3 different user roles that we have for this new project, don't mind about the name of the roles, but only for the capabilities. Okay. So, for example, in the case of the consultation point, you don't need to mind about it, because it's just a normal WordPress user that can only see the products inside the catalog, but cannot add to the cart products and blah blah blah. So we can disable, for example, the checkout process or the add to cart process for that kind of users. Okay. The other 2 users comparing with our last project are, do you remember that in our last project we have 3 different kind of users? Okay. We have the group admin, and we have the group member, let me say, inside. I'm talking about our last project, the group budget plugin. Okay. And regarding that, we have inside our new project I don't remember which is the name of the first role, not the ordering point, instructor point. The instructor point is the user that belongs to a specific group, like in our last project, and can place orders. But
Yes.
that orders will be in a specific status, just like in our last project, something like pending, I don't remember. Okay. And then his ordering point is actually in our last project. The admin, do you remember there is an admin, the public administration user, do you remember, that can change the status of the orders after checking them to say, okay, this order is okay for me, or it's not okay, and he can change the status. The only difference is that in our group budget plugin, we have only one user that is capable to manage all the orders. In this case, for this new project, we have an admin for every group. Okay, so the capabilities are the same, exactly the same of the last public administration user. But in our last project, the public administration user can change the status of all the orders, because he is the boss of everything. In this case, we have different bosses, let me say, for every single group, but the flow is the same. So I repeat, just take an example of a flow, okay, of a single flow. We have different groups inside this website. Okay, just our last project, the same. Okay. So we have different credentials to access to the website. If I am an instructor point, or I am a consultation point, or I am the ordering point. Okay, perfect. Then I am an instructor point. You are my boss, so my ordering point, and Parag is our consultation point. We belong to a specific group. Okay, me as an ordering point, I have my credentials to access to the front end of the website. Okay, it's clear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because I see because in Italy, no, I don't understand. Sorry. Okay, so basically, I am the ordering point of our single group. Okay, I access with my credentials to the front end of the website. I can access only to the front end and place an order. Fantastic. A transactional email, the order confirmation email, will be sent to you, CRM, because you are my ordering point. I don't receive any emails. You receive the email. And we achieved this solution in our last project, associating the same email to me and to you for two different users. In this way, you can receive my confirmation order email, okay? An order has been placed by Giuseppe, for example. Then when you receive this email, and we already have this flow in our last project, you receive this email, perfect, and so you access to the backend of the site, search for my order, check it, and say, okay, fantastic, for me it's okay, and change the status, for example, in complete or processing, okay? Perfect. So basically, the flow is completely equal to our last flow, because in our last group budget plugin, if you remember, we have group admins. Okay, so for example, you are my group admin, you have a specific email. If we associate to my user the same email, your email, the transactional email of the confirmation, the order confirmation will be sent to you, not to me. Okay, so we already have that workaround. The only difference is that in our last project we have group admins. Okay, perfect. And but in our last project, the group admins can change the status. There is an additional status in our last project, because if you remember, I place an order, you receive the email, you access to the backend, you change the status of the order to send an email to the public administration user. We don't have the public administration users inside our this new project. Okay, we can stop at a previous step. Okay, because it's enough that the group admin receives the email, and then the single group admin changes the status of the order. Then, as in our last project, when the order is in a complete status, the real owner of this website, so the one that physically has the products to send to the users, receives all the emails when the order is in a complete status. If you take a look to our last project, when a group admin access to a single order, change the status in sent to public administration, something like this. It's a custom order status. Because in our last project, we needed to send an email to that final boss user. In this case, we don't need it, okay? We just need an instructor point that places an order. Perfect. You, as an ordering point, receive the email, access to the backend, and change the status of the order in a complete. Then, when the status is changed to complete, a transactional email is sent only to a single super admin user that says, okay, I have to take this monitor, this pen, and I have to send it to the final user. Okay, so we have a little bit simpler flow compared to our last project, because in our last project we have an additional user, the boss of everything. In this case, we don't have the boss of everything. We have just little bosses for every single group. So I thought that we can take directly what we have done last year for the group budget plugin, but toggle the functionality that sends the email to the super boss. We just stop at the previous step when the mail is sent to the group admin. Okay, that's why I thought that I think that maybe at least the 80% of the work is already there in our last project. We just need to delete some functionalities because we don't need to send an email to the final boss. And we can take directly all that flow and place it inside this new website. Okay, and obviously this kind of work has some timings, has some work to do on it because we don't have the final boss and blah blah blah. But I think we have already the 80% of the work. Then what we can do, because we have 15 working days to do that. So assuming that we take the 80% of the work already done last year, okay, and we can improve something in this time frame, this 15 working days. So for example, I imagine this technical flow. I take the backup of our last project. I delete all the users just to be sure that we are not using sensible data. Okay. Our last project, we take the backup and clean all the users list and create 2 different groups. For example, okay. It's enough to do that. It's enough to create, for example, 2 single groups. In those 2 single groups, we are going to put 3 users for each group, the instructor point, the ordering point, and the consultation point. Okay? Then we can keep the transactional email flow that send the order confirmation email to admin, and it's okay. And once we have done with this, think about some improvements. For example, in our last project, the group plugin, if you remember, we were not able to let the group admin to see only the orders placed by his users, because accessing to the backend with this credential, with the group admin credential, do you remember, a group admin can see all the orders and have to search for the order ID placed by his ordering point. Okay, if we can this improvement, it's okay to make able the group admin just to see the orders placed by his users and not all the orders list. Okay, but this is just an improvement. Okay, keep in mind that regarding that document, the first part, the must have, for which we have 15 working days, is very, very, very similar to our group budget plugin. Okay, even simpler because we don't have the final boss that manages all the orders. We just have group admin, the single group admin. So what I'm thinking about is to have a quotation for this singular part, the 50, the must-have part. Okay, assuming that we don't have so much time starting from the okay of our client, because we have just 15 working days. I suggest to you to take as much as possible from our last project. And an important thing that I need from your quotation is not just the price. Okay, the price is the most important thing, but when I will explain to my client why this is the amount of the quotation, I need to tell to him, okay, for this point, for example, the three kind of users inside this website, okay, blah, 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 we already have this functionality here, and something like a screenshot of our last project that shows that we already have that. Perfect. Then, taking the second point, the second functionality of this new website. For example, we don't have it inside our last project, and we are going to do that in this way. Just some words, technical details to say, okay, we don't have this functionality. We have to build from scratch, and this is why. Okay, so I need something like this, because when I will talk with my client, he will ask me, okay, why this is the quotation, and I will explain to him, because this functional, we already have this functionality. It's here. Do you see the screenshot? Okay. This second functionality we don't have. We have to build from scratch because blah blah blah. This third functionality we already have, so we can copy it and paste inside our new project. So I need, if you can, please, by the end of the day, a detailed quotation that explains to me, and then I will explain to my client what we already have, what we already can take from our last project, and what we have to build from scratch. Okay? But believe me, we have the 80 or even the 90% of the things already done inside our last project. Don't mind about the words written inside that document, because who written that document is not a technical one, okay? So when you see, for example, a user can save something to the cart, it's not a real functionality. You have to keep in your mind that when they say, for example, a user can save something to the cart, is just the ordering point that placed the order. Okay? Because the ordering point cannot close all the order flow, because there is the instructor point. Oh, sorry, the instructor point can only place the order, and then the ordering point can change the status if it's okay. So when you read save something to the cart, don't mind about it. It's just the order placed by the user. Okay. So basically, what I need from your side is something like this: a detailed quotation that explains to me and to my client what we have already have, and what we for sure we have to build from scratch. But assuming that we have not much time for the must-to-have part, we don't have so much budget from our client. Okay, it's my interest and your interest to take as much as possible from our last project, just to be cheaper and quicker. So if we already did some workarounds, for example, the email workaround, okay, we can keep that workaround. Then I can talk after that 15 days, when we place the first version of this project, I can talk with my client and saying to him, we can improve this, we can improve this, and we can improve this. And then for the improvements, we can decide timings, costs, and blah, blah, blah. But for the first time, you have to think about, I try to explain something that you don't know. Basically, we are doing this work for a single Italian company. There is the same company for which we have done the work last year. Okay, perfect. This company is the one that actually send the products to the final clients, the final users. Okay. This company is participating to some public races, administration races inside here in Italy. For example, our last project, it was related to do the public administration area for the Milan city in Italy. Okay, something that a public company. So this client, his name is Ecolaser Informatica. The name of this company, is selling this project to different companies in Italy. Last year, they sell our work to the city of Milan. Right now, he wants to sell the pretty same project to the IFN. Do you read inside the document? The IFNF is the name. The IFNF is the Physical Institute, National Institute here in Italy. So basically, the reason behind this project is that we built something that a public administration can use to spend the budget that Italy state gives to those companies. So, for example, the Italy government says, okay, for the EFNF company, I have to give 1 million of euros, for example, to spend for buying new PCs, new printers, and blah, blah, blah. Okay? So this project that we are building is something related, is restricted inside a single company. That's why we have a login for the front end. That's why we have order placed without payments. That's why we have to set a single budget for every single group, because that budget is given from the Italian state to the single company. And it can be public administration, it can be a Physics National Institute like this new one. And for the next months, if we do a good work like last year, we will have much more projects that are always the same, guys, because the flow will be every time the same. So I think it's good for me and for you to trying to be quicker and copy as much as more possible from our last project, because this is a new project, but it's pretty same for the last one. But maybe if we are good and the client says okay and blah 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 and win the race, okay, because there is a economical race inside Italy to do this kind of works, then we have another project for another company, which will be the same, maybe with a little bit differences. Okay, but this client participate to those races every year, and if he wins the races, we have to do the work, and every time a new quotation and blah blah blah. But the main thing is to have something solid, like our last project, from which every time we can copy as much as possible and do maybe some improvements or with a little bit differences. But believe me, it's the same, and it's very interesting to us, because there are a lot of companies that need this kind of flow here in Italy. So we need to be specific inside our quotation and ensure to our client at least the timing of the first part of the document, the 15 working days part. Okay. So take care about our last solution, because the flow is very, very, very similar, and it's much more simpler, because we don't have the public administration user. Don't mind about the public administration user. what the public administration user is able to do in our last project is what inside in this new project is what the group admin is able to do, but only for his single group. This is only the difference.
Sure. Let's just Sriram, you understood like the complete propaganda or what exactly they're trying to say, right?
Yes, I understand almost.
Okay, very good. Okay, because we have to give the basically the time frame, updated time frame accordingly. Then and then I will speak to Raman sir also about it. More about it. So I really request, if you can just discuss with him as well this thing, and we can just solve this thing by by tomorrow. That's the last. If we can.
Yeah. Not after. Sorry, guys. I know, but it's 24th of January, and I have now. It's calling me the client because he wants information and blah blah blah. And this is the guy that will pay you.
Mm-hmm.
That is calling me, and we need the most important thing is that we have a document that specify, as I said before, what we already have, and please just try to take as much as possible that we already have from our last project, just to be cheaper and quicker.
No problem.
And specifying why we already have this is enough a screenshot. Okay. For example, do you need the group budget, the section? You can set the group budget monthly or yearly, blah, blah, blah. You can just take a screenshot of the page. Do you remember when you can set the budget? We already have it. Here it is, a screenshot. Then we don't have this functionality. We have to build from scratch. And we are going to do it in this way, without being much more specific, because we are technical, they are not.
Mm-hmm.
But to justify a quotation, I need some specifics, some details. Okay.
Absolutely.
And if you please can give me by the end of the day will be perfect, but not after tomorrow morning, guys, because tomorrow is 25. And here in Italy, it's Thursday. In Italy, my client works from Monday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and on Friday they have half time, so at 1 p.m. they close the office. So I need to give them a quotation because I need to translate your quotation in Italian, make it understandable for my client, send it to the guy that is calling me, then we review together your quotation translated in Italian, and then we send your quotation to the final client. So there is a little bit timing for me to translate and make it understandable, check it with my colleague, and then, okay, we can send it to our clients.
No problem. So Sriram, you're able to give the quotation either by today, late night, or by 12 as our timing, before 12, I would say. So then it will be perfect,
Yes, no problem. I will talk with the Raman sir after this call and give you the time frame as soon as possible.
No problem. It's something that Giuseppe, we have understood completely, and thanks for your time. Thanks for your understanding, actually, to make us understand in a bit more. And yes, get back to you on that. Okay, either by today or by latest by before I would say before 10 a.m. tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Giuseppe. Thank you so much. Okay, Sriram.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Hello. हाँ जी, मेरे का क्या कुछ पॉसिबिलिटी लग रही है आपको इसमें?
हाँ सर, पॉसिबिलिटी मतलब मैं एक बार सर से बात कर लूं, क्योंकि
वो जो चीज कह रहा ना, देखो देखो बजट तो
हाँ।
इसका कम है इस चीज में ना, वही चीज वो बोल रहा है, कह रहा है वो वाली चीजों में से ले लो, तुम ये ले लो वो ले लो कर रहा है। अब बाकी जो है खैर जैसे आप लोगों को ठीक लगे यार आप बताओ, बाकी वही है, फिर मैं आगे से इसको भाई वो चीज उतनी देता हूँ, ठीक है ना।
ठीक है सर, मैं एक बार रमन सर से बात कर लूंगा तो मेरी वो क्लियर हो जाएगा थोड़ा, मैं उनसे बात करना जरूरी है क्योंकि
हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी,
ठीक
ठीक है ना।
ठीक है
ठीक
सर।
है सर, थैंक यू सो मच, ओके जी, बाय।
बाय।